Alright guys, so today we're going to do a demonstration on how to make a basic architectural foam model. So what you see in front of me is a sample foam board, and this is about 3/8 inch thick, and that's okay. And it's actually slightly thicker than the wall that we need, but it's alright. That's what we're going to use, or use whatever you guys can find at Office Depot or Staples. You should be able to find a board, that's like 24 inches by about 18 inches, like pack of 3 for like $6-7, I believe. Okay, and then if you had one of these triangles, it's very helpful, but please don't cut your triangle with the knife because you just ruined a $15 piece of equipment. You all should have one of these things, which is a metal edge, and that's what we're going to use as a guideline to cut, and X-Acto knife, and a pack of X-Acto blade. Now I bought like 100 of them, but you guys can get a smaller pack of 10, 15. That should be enough for this semester. But all you need is this regular, I think they call it a number 11 blade or something like that. So it's always nice to have a nice fresh pack of X-Acto knives. Just believe me when I say that. And of course you need your scale to measure. Okay. So let me give you guys a little bit of kind of tips and tricks on the foam, on how to cut foam core. So let me put this away for now. So here's a kind of a sample foam board that I have, just as a scrap, but I want to teach you guys how to cut them. So with foam board, if you notice here, is that you have a piece of paper on the top, and then you have foam in the middle, and then another paper at the top. So it's really important that you try not to rip through it in the first pass. So I'm going to do it, and it should work because I have a really sharp X-Acto blade at the moment. And so, but later on, it won't work. So anyway, do not do what I'm doing now, which is like to power down and then try to rip through it all in one pass. All right. First of all, if I'm able to do it now because it's a really super sharp blade at the moment, but pretty soon it's going to get dulled out. And then what's going to happen is that it's going to start tearing through the foam and you won't get a clean cut. Oh, and by the way, this is a cutting mat. This is a ginormous cutting mat. You can't really see it, but it covers almost my full table. These things can get a little bit expensive, but I believe on Amazon you can get one that's like 18 inches by 12 inches. Try to get one that's large, like 24 by 36. That would be great, but you can get away with 18 by, 11 or whatever the size is. You should be able to get them at Amazon, and they're about $20, $24. It's definitely worth it because then, if you're working on your dining table, you're not cutting up your dining table, and if you're going to be in architecture school, you're going to use it for the next 5-6 years. So it's a good investment. Definitely tell you to get one of these, because it will save your X-Acto blades as you cut, and it'll also save your table. All right, so it's really important. It's just called a cutting mat. You'll find it at Amazon. So let me go back, and also another reason why you don't want to try to power through and cut really hard, because if you happen to slip, I'm going to go upside down. If you happen to slip and you cut across your finger, you're actually pretty done. You will literally slice off a piece of your skin. So generally work slow and methodical. And so the way how I recommend you cut is to do like a first pass, and you can see that like right now I just felt that I went through the paper, and you guys will begin to feel it yourself. And then after that you do another cut, and I'm cutting through the foam right now, and I'm actually touching the back of the underside paper. I can feel it. And then after that you just press down and cut off, and you should be able to get a nice clean, like also nice, keep your blade pretty much up and down instead of like angling it. To give you an idea here, how you can get a feel for it is, again, paper, I feel it, I'm through the foam, I'm on the other side, see? I didn't cut through, you can see, but you can see I cut perfect, right? I don't know if you all can see that. So you should get a feel for it. You'll be able to feel it in your finger through your X-Acto knife, how deep you're cutting it. So that would be my recommendation. Take at least 3 to 4 passes before you cut through. Very important, guys. Do not power through. Just trust me. Here, let me see if I can replicate a poor cut. I'm going to flip the blade upside down. Yeah, there we go. So if you get a dull blade, and that's what I'm replicating, that's what's going to happen. And then you're going to see that your cut looks like that, like all nasty versus super clean. All right, I don't know if you're okay. So make sure that if your foam starts to ball up like this, then change your blade. Change your blade. You don't want to screw up your model just because you didn't change your blade. All right, so super important on that. All right, so let's get started. So my recommendation to you guys is to cut a piece. Here's the plan, right? We are doing a foam model of this particular project, and you guys should have a file of this that you can download. And if you print it in full scale, it should print on an 11 by 17 sheet of paper, and it should be in scale, a 1/4 inch. So I would tell you to just cut a board that's roughly slightly larger than the sheet of paper. So if this is 17, I can cut a board like 18 inches by 12 inches or so. So let me cut an 18 by 12 for now, and then we'll keep going. And I screwed up this edge, so I think this edge is kind of straight. So I'm going to use that as my measure, and I'm going to just use a red so you can see. So I have a little dot here that's 18. So I'm going to measure to the other side and try to get a parallel line as close as possible. So I have 2 dots that I kind of placed. I cut my board. Again, be patient. Yep, I can feel it. I went through the foam now, and I just need one more cut for the paper. I'm cutting through the cutting mat. So there you go. You get a really clean cut. So this was my 18 from here to here. So I'm going to go 12 inches from here to here. So I'm going to go 12. And try to stay as parallel as possible. I mean, I know that you guys have limited tools. So obviously, if you're measuring like this, so just, do the best you can, guys. We're not building a spaceship, so I'll accept a certain amount of clunkiness, if that's a word. And then so here. Cool. So I have kind of a piece of paper that's about 18 by 12 here, kind of ready to go. And that should fit my floor plan pretty well, like that. Now if you have the funds to go get like spray mount, it's basically a glue in a spray can. You can go ahead and spray the back of this and then, glue it to your board. And I'm okay with that if that's what you guys want to do. For me, I'm just going to use some Scotch tape for now, which I don't recommend you do because obviously when I start gluing this thing, the papers are going to start to bow and it's not kind of ideal, but for sake of example, I'm just going to Scotch tape it. So we know that the walls are 8 feet tall, right? So this is a single-story house. The whole thing is 8 feet tall. So what I want to do is I want to cut, and you definitely want a straight edge. And you want to make 8 foot tall kind of slabs. So I actually don't trust this edge because, man, I don't know which one to trust. Yeah, it's pretty straight. Never mind. So I'm going to measure 8 feet in 1/4 inch scale. So put this away. So I have my scale here, and I go to my 1/4 inch. All right, and I'm going to measure 8 feet. So what I recommend is that you guys cut a bunch of 8 feet walls. I could already feel my blade getting dull. Yep. Yeah, I can feel it, and we'll see if the cut is clean. Not bad, but I can definitely feel it. It's definitely dulling out already. All right, so once you guys have a bunch of these, 8-foot tall walls, then we're going to go ahead and, make the walls. I prefer you guys to measure and then measure, right? Because I want you to practice measuring. But I'm also going to cheat and do as you wish. So I'm going to do this just because I have the plans here and I have that. And I guess another thing to do is do the opposite so that you get a straight line. Guys, hopefully you guys do it accurately. Accurate enough, if you will. So here is my first wall. I just miscut it. Yeah, so here it is. All right, I have this first wall here. And then, of course, you guys are going to mark all your windows. And now I'm going to get lazy. I'm going to freehand it, but you guys don't freehand it, please. So you're going to mark your windows. And, of course, you guys are going to check your elevations to measure, because 8 feet is from here. Yeah, you can see it on my screen. To here. So then you're going to measure from here to get the bottom of the window, and obviously measure so that you'll know how big to cut your window. But let's just say these are my 2 windows. I just wanted to teach you guys how to cut hole. And please use a straight edge. You'll see that cutting windows and openings in foam board is actually a little bit tricky, and the cut side is always cleaner than the opposite end, right? But I don't know if you guys can see, but I cut through here. I'm going to draw it. My X-Acto knife cut through like this, like that, and like that right now. So it didn't really quite cut through all the way yet, and that's pretty typical. So you guys have to kind of dig in there to each corner to make sure that you actually kind of cut through. And if you overcut, I'm not going to like panic and go nuts, but you guys will get a feel for it. And then you flip it around and just kind of finish off the cuts that are needed to kind of release the hole, if you will. There you go. Alright, so you're going to make me a bunch of windows, and you guys are going to create my wall. I'll show you how to do this corner, because you can see we're dealing with some thickness here. So if this wall goes here, the next wall is going to have to start from the inside, right? So you're going to have to measure from the inside out. Or if you want to do really good job, you can do, yeah, I'm going to eyeball it because I kind of know how thick the foam board is. But you can cut through the paper and then cut the foam out. Yeah. Don't cut your fingers, please. But by the way, if you don't cut your finger within your architectural student career, then you're not an architectural student. But just don't cut it in my class. So you got that. Then you can make a nice little corner, right? And so on the outside, you get this really nice clean finish, rather than gluing it like that, where you get this edge. All right. I will accept this. That's not a problem. It's really not a problem. If you did that, I'd be like crazy impressed. All right. So good luck. I am going to continue to make this model, and it's going to be a race. All right. I'll see you guys in a few more weeks. Oh, and then be prepared to you know what? My TA here is laughing because my TA is going to be making the rest of the model. Oops. So anyway, yeah. So we'll get going, and then be prepared. I'm going to be probably uploading a PDF file of the pattern for the roof. That way you guys can just use the pattern to use to make the roof of the project. All right. I hope you guys have fun, and we'll see you guys next time.